Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is, where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. When them tries to kill you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kimberly with Unseen Twisted Truths. We are the People's Podcast, and I have my beautiful, beautiful Henry.
Hi.
How are you, love?
I'm all right. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So tonight's going to be a great story. I'm going to talk about unhealed childhood trauma behaviors.
Hey, I'm fond of that. I'm a crystallized lump of it. We can talk about it.
Yeah. Me too. Don't worry about it. But first, I want to get into some videos, so hopefully you can hear them.
You do that while I find a headpiece.
Oh, okay.
The hardest trauma to treat is the hardest trauma to see, and childhood emotional neglect is often called the invisible trauma because the effects are so hard to recognize. Here are 5 hidden results of childhood emotional neglect from a licensed therapist and certified trauma professional. Make sure you listen to the last so you know what to look out for. First, struggling to speak up for yourself, even when you have something important to say or someone's walking all over you. Second, feeling awkward when people genuinely check in with you about your feelings, so you distance yourself, which teaches them not to ask anymore. Third, having an inferiority complex or imposter syndrome, otherwise an inability to see your own worth, with a nagging belief that everyone else somehow is more prepared or better than you in some way. Fourth, difficulty sharing your emotions, and partially because you never learned to identify them yourself. Fifth, feeling lonely, but also seemingly unable to connect with others when opportunities arise, instead opting for self-isolation and seclusion, even at social events.
Excluding yourself from social events. I get that. I think that I went through some of that. For the longest time. I think the hardest trauma I had to handle and deal with is trauma I couldn't see. But let's get into it. Go ahead, babe.
No, it is. There's a lot of hidden traumas. We don't realize we subconsciously act on them, or they act on us.
Yeah. Facts. So let's get into this next video.
How to actually heal from childhood trauma. The best way to heal isn't just talk therapy. You actually need a mixture of top-down and bottom-up healing. So what are these? Top-down is like traditional talk therapy, meaning you're sitting in an office talking with a therapist. This can be important for awareness and understanding what steps you need to take to heal. In general, this accounts for about 20% of the total healing that you need to do. The other 80% should come from bottom up. Emotions are generated, stored, and felt in the body. So in order to take the steps to heal, you have to release the emotions that are pent up in your body. Somatic experiencing is a specific type of therapy that's designed to help you release emotions that are stored in your body. Another one that I have found to be very helpful that integrates top-down and bottom-up is IFS. The biggest thing to remember is that healing is not linear, and it takes work to heal.
Healing is not linear. It doesn't happen overnight. It does take time to do it. It's a process, and it takes a lot of time to be able to do it, especially when it's been unrecognized for so long. Do you agree?
Yeah. I saw a sign that said it's easier to help a child than it is to fix an adult. And that is true. Because once we can process and reform all of that, and our brains are all formed, it locks a lot of these things in.
I got so much to say on that, but let's get into some other videos. We only got 3. I didn't do many.
If you went through childhood trauma, I'm going to ask you a question here, and I'm really sorry if you relate. I'm really sorry if this opens your eyes. Why is your pain threshold so high? Why is your pain tolerance so high? Can you see where I'm going with this? Some of us, a couple of reasons. So some of us were hit as kids. Firstly, right, you have no idea how many clients I have that say, yeah, there was no physical abuse when I was a kid. For punishment, though, we were spanked. That's physical abuse. Sorry. Point number 1 that I want to make here is it's difficult as kids when we were hit and then we were told that if we cried, I'll give you something to cry about, which meant getting hit even more. So we are told, we are conditioned to hide the pain or get used to it. The second point that I want to make is when we were in public or in a social setting and we weren't hit, but we were squeezed or pinched or just hurt, but like under the radar when no one else saw it, so we had to hide it.
I've been waiting to hear that guy's video for a long time, because not enough people talk about that. I don't know what I have to say here. My parents didn't hit me. My dad gave up on spanking me when he realized it wasn't working. My parents, my mom and dad, were abusive in certain ways, but not physical. And I see a lot of the people who said, "Oh, I'm like that's because my parents hit me and shit." They're abusive pricks. They're a fuck your feelings crew, and I don't like that shit because I'm a fuck your feelings type of person too. I'm just nicer about it a lot of the time. If you drag it out of me, it's fucking mean. But yeah, I never got hit growing up. Actually, my parents didn't really try to bestow anything, a lot of values on me and shit. I gained them myself. No one needs to get hit to learn how to be a respectful and good person, nor pump full of drugs like we talked about Tuesday. I like that. I like that guy's video a lot.
We got 2 more.
You are repeating your childhood trauma all the time without noticing, even when you don't remember the memories. And understanding this is key to healing your emotional trauma. We live in a mirror reality where our inner world creates our outer world. And when I say inner, I mean the vibration of your subconscious mind. Now, your subconscious mind was created in the first 7 years of your life, when you did not have a proper ego to help you logically process reality, so you did it with your emotions. And if you had a negative experience, that imprinted your subconscious mind with a negative vibration, because emotions are energy in motion. And this means that all of your emotions come from the first 7 years of your life, and that negative imprint keeps bringing you back to the memory that created it every time you feel the emotion, even when you don't remember it. You have been living a reflection of your childhood this whole time, but this also means that every time you feel a negative emotion, you have the ability to reprogram your subconscious mind and heal your emotional trauma, which you use my memory regression method to do. This method uses your emotion as a way to bring up the core memory that created the vibration and reprogramming it into one with a more positive vibration, therefore healing your trauma and reprogramming your subconscious mind at the same time. If you're serious about aligning with your highest potential through healing and your true spiritual power, I'm hosting a free live quantum expansion class. But to save your spot, come in Quantum 77.
I don't say this very often, but oh my God, she was so sexy. She's absolutely right. And I use a lot of those techniques about the first 7 years is very important. She is very right.
Yeah.
God, she was fine. Smart.
I got 1 more, and this one's a crucial one, and this one you just have to pay attention and observe. You ready? Here's the last one.
There's something inside. Can you see what's inside the box? You can take the lid off. Is there something in there? put it back inside of the box and put the lid back on the box and close it up. Can I see that? Thank you. Let's see what else we have. Look at this. See? Look at this. There.
Hi, Teresa. I'm going to sit here and read a magazine.
Okay. That's Kelly. Kelly's going to sit and read a magazine. Kelly, look at this.
That's aggravating. That's so annoying.
Oh, I thought it was really interesting.
Well, that's just your opinion. It's aggravating.
Here. Can I see that? Thank you.
I'm going to go now, Teresa.
Kelly's going bye-bye. Kelly went bye-bye.
You're gonna have to explain what's going on in that to me because I can't get it. It's so fuzzy and broken up that I couldn't tell exactly what the experiment was.
Okay, so the little boy was playing with the box first with the green cone, and he was able to play back and forth freely with that, and she enjoyed that interaction with him. So then she was showing him another thing, and she was showing him a necklace that she kept dropping into a cup and saying, "Look at this." And the lady walked in to sit and read the newspaper, and she goes, "Look at this," to the lady, and the lady got aggravated and annoyed and said, "It's annoying. I don't want to see it. Just stop it." Then she handed it to the little boy, and she said, "There," and wanted him to do whatever he wanted with it, and he would not touch it because he kept looking at the lady that was annoyed with it.
Uh-huh.
And then when
Okay.
she walked away, she ended up giving it to him. He just was like, and then she took it back from him, and he was like,
He was so broken from the incident that he couldn't even fuck with it. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you don't realize what childhood trauma really does do to you. Because I've been told, kids are to be seen, not heard, and to shut up. And when adults are talking, not to speak. And I've done it to kids, not realizing there's an appropriate way to speak to people, because them are people. They're going to be a whole person. And we're fucking with them. We're fucking with them. We're controlling them. We're telling them how we want them to be in our lives so that we can function properly, without taking in consideration what it's doing to them.
So many parents have expectations, and well, let's just leave it at expectations of their children. And those aren't always going to be met. Your children aren't always going to be a spitting image of you. Your children are going to be unique and talented. And I don't know, weird, alternative, who knows? But, I see that happen a lot where they treat kids like shit like that.
So let's go further on. Let's go further on that they've already been treated like shit. Now they're grown ass adults. So when you go into relationships and you have trust issues or separation anxiety or codependency, there's a few things that's the definition for childhood traumas. Have you ever Googled and read the definition about childhood traumas?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm going to read some. It's insane. And this is why people are the way they are. This is why they are in life. It's not something that, a lot of people aren't aware of it. Says, what are the signs of an unhealed childhood trauma? Signs of an unhealed childhood trauma, it may include anxiety, depression, difficulty forming relationships, emotional disillusion, low self-esteem, intrusive memories, trust issues, self-destructiveness, behavior, chronic or behavior, self-destructive behavior, chronic stress, substance abuse, dissociation, sleep, disturbance, and then somatic symptoms, difficulty with boundaries,
Somatic,
huh?
somatic
Somatic,
disorders.
yeah. Now keep going. You got that?
Yep.
Difficulty with, keep reading, or you don't have it? You don't have it in
I'm
front of you? Oh,
no, I'm integrating with our populace here on Facebook. Thank you guys. Love y'all.
personalities of childhood trauma. Childhood trauma helps give rise to specific personalities traits are codependent, helpers, fixers, perfectionist, anxious, and controlling people. And wonder why, and wonder how your childhood may have helped shape you live in the world. Why do traumatized people reject love? Childhood trauma is a big contributor to this behavior. If we are raised with love alongside fear of punishment, we confront a dilemma. And that's what that little boy was doing. He had a dilemma because he was shown love and then he had fear from that lady. You accept pain for love and escape from suffering and live without love. We build a pattern of drawing affection and then fleeing before any possible harm happens in over time. So I want to talk about the main reason doing this is why people that are unhealed keep coming back into your lives after they mess with you and after they cause this like they actually took you for granted, misused you, misutilized you, and now they come back into your life later on when they see somebody else loving you. Why do they do that? Is it because they didn't realize what they had until it was gone? Or did they they were so comfortable with hurting you that they thought that that was acceptable to always do it and then come back whenever they wanted? Or do you think that maybe they really truly loved you, but they didn't know how to love themselves correctly, that they couldn't show you?
If you're looking
They,
for an answer to that, I'm afraid you're not going to get an easy one.
you won't. You won't
There's a
because there's a lot of
lexicon of
reasons.
reasons, and
There's a lot
there's
of reasons. Yeah.
means they're so diverse. There's so many different reasons. Certain things could be malicious, certain things could be not malicious, a complete result of codependency and a absolute defensive act. They could
Facts.
become, love. Does love exist in codependency? Yeah, it can.
I mean, it may be a toxic form, though, and it may be a delusional
Yes.
state. I don't know if it's a clear understanding what real love is.
Love gets very confused in trauma. The two intermingle very dangerously. Look, I could speak on this from a very personal point of view, but due to the fact that another party might not be involved and I just don't talk about, my relationship all the time, it it exemplifies a lot of the things we're talking about. Everything was codependent, and of course I don't have hard feelings over that. I mean, I got hard feelings, like a bad trauma over it, not negative emotions. It's hard. Codependency bred from trauma. Codependency is a terrible thing. Things I still feel, from it every day, and it's hard to get through that. Fighting codependency and fighting for independence as a traumatized person can be a very hard road. Healing is hard. It's painful. Scabs get picked. Bleed.
I know why a lot of people don't tune in to the show to participate is
I know, right?
because, huh?
No, please. I was saying, yeah, I know. Elaborate.
Because they have to be able to look at themselves unapologetically, authentically, and try to work with whatever's going on within self. A lot of people rather hide it, mask it, and act like they're fine than to really analyze themselves. Like the first video that I wanted to touch base on about a lot of hidden things I didn't know that I went through personally until I was made to analyze it and look within myself to see it. And I discovered it. And I still catch myself at times stumbling, but I give myself grace. I give myself grace knowing that just because I stumbled a little bit doesn't mean I'm not receiving what I'm supposed to be doing for myself. Doesn't mean I'm not loving myself. In looking at yourself in the mirror is sometimes hard for people. So I can receive why a lot of people don't want to tune in, because it's a lot of self-love here. And it's rough to be able to go. Look at this.
Yeah.
Hey, brother.
Oh, shit.
Hey, brother. I don't know if he can hear us. But anyway, so, oh, nope. He muted it. Anyway, so like it's fear. Fear of looking at yourself in the mirror, fear of breaking down and starting over, fear of change, fear of realizing that you're not where you thought you should be, mentally, let alone physically and emotionally. Fear, I think, stops a lot of people from doing a lot of self-work that they should be doing within self. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys think that the reason why people don't want to heal and talk about things is because they try to mask and act like it didn't exist? Because they don't want to face it?
Fear's a mind killer.
Fear is a mind killer. It is. It is. He said absolutely fear
Is a roadblock for many.
Yeah, true.
I love this. I love that. Thank you, Danny Holmes. I love these comments popping up. It feels like a real podcast, like Joe Rogan or something with more eyeliner.
And tutus. But anyway, so like I think that a lot of people don't want to do that shadow work. A lot of people don't want to sit and realize, dig into themselves and realize that we're all fucked up. You know, the hardest thing to do is raise a child because it doesn't come with books. It doesn't come with guidelines. We have somebody that's looking up to us and is trying to depend on us to not fuck up their life. But yet our lives are still fucked up within ourselves. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to raise somebody and not fuck up their life when we don't know how to love ourselves correctly without fucking us up?
I'm not. I never ever plan on having children. I never planned on having children. When I was little, I never planned on having children. I said it's not right for me. I'm an art person. I'm someone who I'm not prepared to do that. I never will be. I never want to be. I get really, actually, children I can only take for so long even. I like teaching a little bit, but in short increments. But I wanted to help adults, not children. That's why I'm sitting here on this podcast. But
And
in turn, we help adults. It makes healthy adults help healthy children grow.
and not only that, though, we are all children. That's the thing, is we never really truly grow up because we never release that trauma of our childhood. That's the thing. We never really forgive ourselves and heal completely to allow us ourselves to be free of what somebody else had put upon us. The agreements that were not ours, that became our beliefs, from religion, from sex, from politics, from racism. We cannot wipe away the slate to be healthy adults because we haven't
No.
healed our inner child yet. We hadn't start from where it started.
Right. And look at the state of things. Look how many unhealthy people are making decisions. Look how unhealthy everything is. I'm sorry. I used to love commenting in politics, but even I'm just like, man, I can't. This fucking clown show is too much.
It's like a nana boo boo factor in life, and I can't take that pettiness. Everybody's so petty. Everybody's so petty, and they're like, nah, 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 nah. Look what I did. Look what I did. Look what I did to you. And not realizing that they're all grown ups. We never grow. Our minds do, but our subconscious don't if we don't allow it to.
Yo.
Hey,
Whoa.
Dirty. What's good? What's good?
So how important is this subject about childhood trauma, unhealed behavior from it?
Well, for me, it's definitely again, very relatable. You understand? We carry so much weight. You understand? Like we carry a lot of weight on our shoulders, day to day, and sometimes we don't understand and we don't think about how it reflects on us because it's such a natural feeling, a natural emotion, something that has engulfed us. And until we are able to recognize it and do that shadow work and just do all the other things that's required to start some type of journey towards healing or making changes, um, we'll continue to spiral down. So for me personally, these past 2 months have been nothing but growth, nothing but growing. Um, and I'm learning to heal in ways that people don't speak on all the time, because what we do is we go looking for the common. We'll go to Google and search on Google for remedies on how to deal with ourselves, our mental issues. And at the end of the day, we tend to forget that common sense tells you what you need to know about you. And it's good. Don't get it twisted. It's good. Well, we are twisted. So I mean, let's keep it that way. But not twisted in a bad way. Not
No,
twisted in a
never
bad way.
twisted
Like
in a bad way. We're different than the norm.
We
I'm
right.
untwist.
So
We're
yeah. So
untwisted.
facts. So what I'm getting at is that I'm learning to grow in the ways that I thought in which were brought forward from others, just spreading love and just giving me advice. I noticed that those things worked for that time frame of me hearing it. But when you're dealing with it on your own, you still have to find a way to manage. And you just have to recognize that it takes you. It doesn't take someone to tell you. They can tell you all they want. A person can talk to you till they're out of breath, screaming. But until you accept that you need to make that change, you need to heal, you need that change. Until you recognize that you need the change and get away from that, um, nothing's going to change. You'll forever have the trauma. The trauma is always going to be there. And it's not something that just happens overnight. Doesn't happen in days. It doesn't happen in months. Sometimes it could take years. Don't put a time frame on it. Just understand that this is just like your growth. You're going to forever be growing and getting away from it, which is fine too, because it gives you a starting point. It gives you a place, for you to remember, like, hell, 2 months ago, I was like this. 2 months before I met you guys, 2 months ago, before I met you guys, um, I was walking down a path that everyone on this podcast has been on. Everyone that's listening, I'm sure, has been on their own path. So, um, for me, just to see some clarity in the path, I feel like that's a good start. And yeah, that unhealed childhood trauma, man, it really man, it'll have you acting a fool if you're not careful. It'll
Mm.
have you acting a fool with the wrong people.
Mm.
And even then, the sadder part about it is it's not your fault. But on the cool, here comes my word. Here comes my word. You make the
Choice.
choice. You make the choice. I was running behind today, um, and I met with someone, and they're special. So just knowing that they're dealing with a problem that has to do with our topic, I'm like, nah, you gotta chime in. You have to, because these messages that we're looking at, these topics, they're for all of us, whether we want to admit it or not. And like you said, when I came in, I caught it as I was coming in. You were saying, I believe, sis, you said, some of us just don't like to recognize and we like to ignore it. And truth be told, you know what? I feel like that's a part of the process. You
Yeah.
ignore it for as long as you can until it just starts beating you in the head when you wake up, when you go to lay down, when you can't focus.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime that you have um, a situation with someone, when it comes to your job, there could be it's all in your life. It can affect your whole life. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It does not matter. So um, again, I did come in late, so I do apologize for uh,
Mm.
taking up. But I mean, I just relate to it. I just relate to it. I relate to this deeper than I was thinking, because I was like, this is a good topic. But then having time to sit back and really think and just like, man, like, yo, it really is crazy how my life has been affected by it. Now I'm making that choice to make sure that I heal myself and also just do my best to help others understand the importance of it. I don't care if there's not a soul that listens, because my sole purpose to me is just to say it to someone and bring it and bring the message towards people, and just make sure what I got to say comes across people's ears, because it's all
Mm-hmm.
genuine. It's not fabricated.
Fact.
It's not something I'm just trying to say to, you know, nah, this is from the heart. This is just what real
Facts.
is. It's solid.
You
If if you lie, go somewhere else, because you're not going to
Fact.
get it here. We're going to take the truth. Like I'd rather sit here with you guys and hear you guys tell me, yo, appetite, you're not yourself today. You're not, I rather deal with you guys than deal with myself. And the reason why I'd rather not deal with myself is because I couldn't do it on my own.
I
I
feel
couldn't do
that.
it on my own. I
I feel
can't
that.
do it on my own. And a lot of people, don't get it twisted. There's nothing wrong with being independent, but when it comes to stuff like this, you know what? Let me fix that. When it comes to bullshit like this, you know what I'm saying? It takes others around you, and you got to have a decent circle. You got to have
Mm-hmm.
one or two people in your life that'll listen. You have to have those one or two people that's going to look outside the box and tell you, say, you know what? It's all right. I understand. But a lot of people don't
Yeah.
understand because all they want to do is cast that stone, not realizing, say,
Mm.
damn, bro, your house is glass just like mine.
Mm.
But the difference is all the glass you done broke, man. I'm gonna just ask you to help me sweep it up so you don't cut your feet.
Facts.
did you
Preach.
get a new mic?
Did he what?
I'm actually using my studio mic. So is it
Okay,
too
because
loud?
I couldn't. No, I couldn't tell whether you got a new mic or you just leveling up at podcasting because you just came in here with a bunch of fat. Like, but when the time you first started and then now on this one, you just sound like sure yourself badass, like you leveled up, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate the insight. And yeah, I can hear you clear. I just wasn't sure if it was mechanical or just coming right from your spirit.
It's coming
Spirit.
from the spirit. It's
It's
coming from the
spirit.
spirit, Harry, my boy,
Yeah.
my brother. It's
Yeah.
love, bro. You already know. It's all love.
I
It's
heard
all
that.
love, man. Received, man. Received.
I love it. I love it,
Yeah.
appetite.
So I shared something with you both. and some others. Do you recall what I shared with you both? I tagged you both in it.
Um, if you're talking about the post,
I'm about to play it if that's okay.
yeah, it's beautiful. Why not? Why not? Let us all receive that. We all need to receive that. That's food.
I get
Let
it
me
now.
mute up.
Me becoming the best version of me requires me getting around better versions of people. I realize everybody can't come with me. And although sometimes it hurts, I gotta do what's best for me. I get it now. Me
Remember?
becoming the best version of me.
Do you remember? Sometimes we have to remove people from our lives to become better versions of us. But as we do that, we have to surround ourselves around better versions of us.
Yo, I'm telling you, the podcast be talking to me, not just everyone else. It's so beautiful because I can validate what you sent to us. You feel me? Like I had to do some cleaning up. As and anyone that knows my spirit knows me will tell you like that's hard for me to remove people out my life because my heart's so big, you know. So
That's hard for me to
I just had
remove.
to remember though, like, how can I expect changes to come if I'm not willing to go ahead and do for myself and do what's right by me? Like dead serious. Like
That's
I can't
serious.
even I can't even really love everybody the way I need to love them because I'm so fucked up at times. You feel me? And I
Feel
noticed,
you.
you know, when people deal with me, it's like, damn man, like, and I'm one to be real too. I'm not gonna, man, look, I'm not gonna fabricate nothing for myself. Like I made some shitty decisions before, you know, and who hasn't? I get that. But when you get attacked with yourself and you know yourself and you know how your heart feels and you know what you desire, you feel me? Shit gonna move different with you, especially when people start telling you stuff and it's people you got love for. It makes you feel a certain type of way. And I never really took a step back to look and see where that was coming from. I always just picked up the characteristic of it's me, it's me, it's me, it's my fault. Yeah, it's my fault to a certain extent. But of course, I had to make that choice, right? They go that word again. I had to make a choice to stop looking at it like that and see it for what it really was. And a lot of the people that I was attached to and I had in my life, I dare not say and disrespect them because I don't feel a certain way to them or towards them to say that I dislike you, I hate you. You understand? Like I don't feel that way. Um what I feel is I don't deserve to be told something about me that I know ain't true. I don't deserve to continue to receive that like I had been receiving it for majority of my life. I had to
Yeah.
take a stand, and that's what I did. I took that stand and I cut those ties because, yeah, I know I deserve more than what I've been getting. And once you realize that, I feel like that's what makes it easier. No matter how big your heart is, you gotta love you just like you love them. The love for them
Yeah.
that you didn't want to go ahead and cut them off. You gotta love yourself a little bit more. Cause let me tell you some, it's dark as hell when you don't love yourself like you love others. All right, I'm
Is it?
done for about 10 minutes.
Nah, it is though. You're telling the truth. It is though. It's definitely. It's dark. It's dark. I can experience it and testify. You're not speaking nothing that I haven't felt. I don't know how about Henry, but I hadn't felt it. I felt it, all of that, everything you said. I can relate. I can
Yeah,
relate.
we glad to have you, appetite.
Yeah, it's not even glad to have you. I'm glad that you want to have you. I'm glad that you are taking the chance to finally realize what you have to offer and only surround yourself around people that can reciprocate that. I learned to remove myself if they no longer see me in the light that I see them in or that I see myself in, matter of
Right.
factly. And that took a lot for me to do because of my childhood traumas. Because I was a people pleaser. I wanted to fix everything. I wanted to solve all problems of this world. I was worse than Henry at one time.
What's that
Because,
supposed to be?
huh?
Nothing. I'm giving you my
You
best
know,
Joe Pesci impression.
okay, but you know Captain America, what I'm talking about.
I do.
So, but anyways, I had to learn though. And I love these lessons that keep coming back to me over throughout time. When I have you, brother, saying to me, sis, sometimes you got to let them go because they're going to keep on hitting their head against the wall because they're not ready. And I had to learn that. And yet I tend to forget it at times because I'm still trying.
People hitting their head against the wall. Sometimes you're the wall. Or sometimes you're the hit.
That's deep.
That's what codependency is.
Sometimes we're rough to our own selves and not realize it because we're worried about someone else. And I value so many things in my life recently, and it took me leaving from where I wasn't celebrated to go to where I am, to only surround myself around people that I am celebrated with. And I had to remove what was not of me for me to become what I need to be. Receive that. Do you receive that, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah.
You know
But
I
it took
receive it.
it took
It's food
that
because
time.
here I go again. Right.
It took that time because it doesn't happen overnight. Time. When you want better, you got to do better and become better, but it takes time. Because guess what? You didn't get fucked up overnight. It happened from the time you were born.
So then.
So give yourself grace and know that the behaviors that are those of childhood trauma, people cannot be fixed until they're ready to be fixed within themselves. I text my son and talk to him immediately about helping me out with stuff, and he was willing to. I really wanted to talk to him, and that was my main reason to text to him, to tell him I would like to have some one-on-one time with you. And he said, okay. Well, the week goes by, and I said, did you forget about me? Because we're already into the next week. And he's like, he sends me money. And I was like, dude, that's not what I wanted. I don't want money from you. That's not what I'm talking about. And he was like, well, I gave it to you anyways. I didn't care. I don't need it. Just take it. And I was like, but dude, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that one-on-one time. I would like to spend some time with you. I miss my son. I miss the bond that we had. I miss the person that I helped raise become who they are today because I'm proud of him, regardless. And he said, he promises that he's going to try to make time for me.
I don't want to say
life be lifing.
I don't want to say it so it sounds bad. But giving you money would be a form of deflection. You know, sometimes
I asked for money in the beginning, though. I asked for money in the beginning.
Yeah.
So he assumed that's what I wanted was the money when I said you forget about me. So I'm not mad at him for assuming that. Because I did at the beginning. No.
I wanted to say that sometimes that can be deflection like that. Doesn't necessarily have to come from an abuser, but it can come from someone who has been abused and who lives. Because childhood trauma also is coupled with another thing besides fear, which is shame.
Yes.
We find that it's shameful to discuss our addictions, what happened to us, any kind of assault of any type,
anything that we've done to somebody else, anything that we've done to them too. We have find shame of saying I'm sorry. Yeah. I just wrote a things to Ken Rife, and I wanted to publicly, I don't know if he's still listening, but I wanted to publicly apologize. Not because of what I said, it's because of how I said it and when I said it and how he perceived it. Because that wasn't my intent. But that's how miscommunication is formed. Letting things just ride from however you perceived it.
Right. I agree. A lot of things can be they could be fixed. Simple fixes. You know, that's love and respect to you, sis, because it takes it doesn't take. Don't get it twisted when I say what I say right now, because I'm speaking highly of you, because I know your character, I know your spirit. So it's easy for us, but it does take from people. It takes a lot from people to do what you just did, because sometimes that's not within their character.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say that, that's what I mean. I'm not speaking only like that, because that's
You
not of your
have to
character.
realize, though, I'm coming from a healed state, and I love you from a healed position of loving myself and have integrity for myself and respect for myself. So I will not take anything you say outside of discernment, ever.
Right. Received. Yeah. So
I see you in the same light that you see me in. Know that.
fact. Yeah, it's always love, for sure, for sure.
But
Big old cheese on my face when I'm saying that.
that's how perceptions ran. It's how that
Right.
person already perceived you, how they seen you, what light they saw you in. Even though my intent wasn't to make it seem like it did, because I didn't see it that way until I had somebody else show me how it could have been seen. And then I received it, because my intent is so pure. So I never ever look at things that way. I look at it as
Right.
fun and games, and life's too serious to be serious. And sometimes you just got to say fuck it and laugh. But yet, the other person might have been going through something or dealing with something, and how I said it affected them because that's how they perceived it, because they don't know me no other way. So
Right.
I can't control how they perceive it, but I can control how I handle it, because that's not my intent. So I will go and call up eventually and talk to them, and try to make it not sellable, but like, so I feel better about myself, because my intent isn't to go around and just hurt people's feelings or be an asshole, because I didn't like it when it was done to me ever in life. But yet that's from being a healed individual. Some people, no matter what, is going to see things the way they want to see things. And that may be with violence, that may be with being petty, that may be with vindictive, that may be with force or anger or whatnot, because they're not ready to heal yet, and they're not seeing things from a healed perspective. They're seeing it from how they see it. And that's the
Hey,
only thing we know.
sis, can I chime in on what you just said
Yes.
though?
Yes.
Look. I fully receive that and agree. And you know what else it could be from too?
Mm.
That unhealed childhood trauma.
Facts.
You know, apologies and remorse are weird. You can apologize too much. You can get into a point where you're so beaten down in life that your go-to is "I'm sorry, I apologize," and this is a staggeringly large statistic for a lot of people. But for people who don't do that, and when you actually do an insincere apology and admit when you're wrong, it's not something to feel shame about, because we're all wrong once in a while. He who
Facts.
cast the first stone, when you publicly apologize and realize you've done something wrong and you want to move in and heal from it, that's actually healthy. Most people can't even get to that point. So,
And this
that's
is the
really
first
cool.
time I've seen them on my thing, because he doesn't really tune into my show. So it happened to, and I just wanted to make that time to let him know that I acknowledge him. Thank you for tuning into my show, and I appreciate you, and I'm still going to support you. My intent wasn't for it to go to where it did, because I didn't see it as something wrong until they felt attacked, and that's not my intent ever in life. I'm not the one. I'm love
Well,
and
that's
light.
cool. And thank you for stopping by and checking it out anyway.
Yes,
Yes,
appreciate
yes,
you. And I love
yes.
you. And I'm going to share your stuff always. And I support Sunday Dinner. And anybody who's watching this, always share your music too. The 419 Legends for Sunday Dinner, and
Oh yeah.
the beats. Share them the beats like every Wednesday night. It's after this show, to be real with you. Or no. Yeah, it is. It's yesterday's show. My bad. Yesterday, Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yesterday's show
yesterday.
after
That
my other
time
show.
there. Always
Yeah.
a good time there too. It's always a good time.
Always good
Great
time. Great.
producers, great cast, you know what I mean? So it's love.
Dope artists. Very intellectual. Very, very amazing people. Always a good time. But anyway, so love. I don't think there is a basic definition for it at all. I think that sometimes it can be confused. Love can be confused as pain. Love can be confused for so many things. I remember when I was younger and I was told I was only good for one thing, and I believed it. So I started doing that. And I was good at it, and I made it a great thing. And it became an addiction, and then it became the point of that it wasn't healthy for me or what I was doing it and why I was doing it. So I had to heal from it and remove myself from it and stop doing it to be able to control it. And I have more power now by having a choice to do it than feeling like I was doing it because that was the only way I was able to receive love. And that's can be so many addictions. People turn to them for a feeling of feeling wanted and accepted and appreciated. Something they can control because they can't control anything else in their life. I get it. I get it. And I know we can't change the world, but we can change while we're in the world. And maybe the world will naturally change on its own. If not, fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't know what else to say.
All right. Fuck it. Sometimes you gotta say fuck it.
Basically. Because there's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can do.
Facts.
But once you stop trying to do everything and just allow what is supposed to happen, so many things will come into your world because you only can control how you handle the things.
Yeah.
They preach the serenity prayer, right? In a lot of 12-step programs. You guys know the serenity prayer? Bless.
Peace. Bless.
Do you guys know the serenity prayer?
I kind of know of the serenity prayer. Yes.
I'll say it. It's God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's a very good saying for a lot of people. For me, I had a problem with the way it was laid out. I just got problems with it. I got a lot of problems with 12-step programs, even though it was a good stepping stone. You can look at that in a certain way, and the way I look at that now, because it's such a useful technique, is I say, it is what it is. That is the poor man's serenity prayer. It is what it is. It's condensed down.
You know what mine is? You know what mine is? No worries.
Right.
What is yours? Appetite, I know you got one. What's yours?
It's cool.
It's cool.
It's cool.
It's cool.
It's cool.
And basically inside we're saying, what the fuck is wrong with you? But we can't control that. We can't really honestly say that. So at the end of the day, we'll just say, no worries. It's cool.
Appetites is very you good kind of area. Like that can mean a lot of. It's a very versatile saying, and okay, cool. Like if something blows up and it's a complete catastrophe, like, all right, yeah, it's okay, cool. You can say that in any kind of direct fashion. I guess you could do no worries too. And it is what it is. I guess that's why they're so good. It's the versatility of that kind of thought process, right?
But honestly, all of it does stem down to the same thing. I don't really actually fucking care because at the end of the day, I can't control it, and I only can control how I care about it. So I'm gonna stick with the fact of that it is what it is. I don't care. It's all good. It's cool.
Humans are triggered by interesting things, triggered in any way to feel a certain type of way. So if you're in conversations with difficult people, like real difficult people, or a difficult situation, or you got to apologize or something, remember, you can always get far in conversation by appealing to the other person. So let's say
Fact.
I'm learning something from you, or even if you're mad at them, I learned this from you, or
Facts.
I understand where you're coming from and I appreciate this information. It's almost like pandering to somebody. It's good communication skills because people want to feel
100%.
validated in everything you're saying, even if they're coming at you. And that
Yes.
always helps.
That always helps, Henry. And I'm so glad you said that, because that always helps. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to feel like they matter. And they honestly actually do, or you wouldn't be talking to them, because matter only exists when you give it attention. So if you
Good
ignored
conflict resolution.
it, eventually they'll disappear. Or they're going to keep going because they don't know when enough's enough and they just don't get it. And they'll never get it. So you might have to remove them. But at the end of the day, you don't have to respond.
No. Well, you're dealing with bullies and antagonists, and sometimes they want to make agreements for you. So it becomes tantamount to getting out of those agreements
But you have two
safely and
choices.
non-violent.
You have two choices: to agree with them, or to see where they're coming from, or to appease them, or tell them something wonderful that you're learning from them, to try to relate to them, or ignore it. That's your only two choices, because there's no common ground. There's no middle. When someone feels some type of way and they're coming from an on trauma or unhealed trauma state, they don't know right from wrong. They're not coming from rational.
Right.
They don't
Let me
know
be
what
the first to tell you,
is.
you got to be careful in those situations too. There are certain
Irrational
situations.
people feel that rational is within an irrational thought.
Who is calling me? Not right now. Sorry everybody. Very unprofessional. Not the fact that I drink and smoke. The podcast, not drink coffee. No, I've been in. I always disagree with you and agree with you right here, Kimberly, and I love that we can have this. I think you can ignore something until it's swinging at you in the street. And in one of my instances like that, I was in an instance where someone was finna do something real bad. Or gonna get real hurt in this situation, and agreements didn't matter at that point. And very, very steadfast communication, conflict resolution, and maybe even that wouldn't have worked, but it did. It's very important to keep your cool. And I realized growing up with trauma, I can fucking handle a bar fight, a car accident, somebody threatening violence in front of me. Those kind of weird things don't bother me. If I can't screw something together, I drop a screw, I can't figure out what button to click, my whole world's coming apart. And I'm inconsolably angry. That's something that trauma produces right there, is the inability to control things. Being able to respond well in high stress situations. You see someone who responds well in a high stress situation, they might have gotten beaten as a kid. They might be ready for anything. It's not always the case, but I got scared in a couple of situations, and I realized that I couldn't ignore it. I could not ignore it because it would have costed too much. And those are situations provoked by trauma with people experiencing it. And it's hard dealing with trauma, I guess, is really at the end of the day. We got to really be centered in ourselves to deal with these harsh situations. And that's where I think this podcast comes from.
And I agree, but don't get me wrong. I have jumped out of a moving vehicle before. I'm just saying. I said, if you can't make peace, then you can remove yourself. And I don't care the situation. I removed myself. I always maintain peace, though.
You're
Because
very
I don't
quiet.
allow,
Hold on.
because
I wanna hear you.
I don't allow them. Can you hear me?
No. I'm going to try and come back on.
Okay.
Super important.
Super important. I just love it. Oh, super important. So, as I was saying, because he said it, he'd be right back. Super important. He's like,
Come back.
Come back.
Yes, okay. Your
Okay.
piece.
Okay, so but I said to you, don't get me wrong, because I have jumped out of a moving vehicle before. Either you maintain, you ignore it, or you remove yourself. And sometimes removing yourself is what I choose. And I had, even in a situation where I probably shouldn't have removed myself because we were driving down the road, but I still felt that I had to remove myself regardless. And I
You
did.
had to
And
do something extreme. Yes.
extreme to get my point across. And probably not for the best at all, because I wasn't great at tucking and rolling and moving out of and running out of a moving vehicle. I don't think I'll
I'll
ever be
show
great
you.
at that. I am not a stunt double by any
I'll
means.
show you. Everybody should learn how to fall. It saved you my life. It'll save your life. I promise.
Yes, because
If
I'm
you
not
learn
really
one thing from
good at
karate,
fall.
learn to break falls.
I'm just saying, I'm not that. I should have known better though, because I've tripped going upstairs. So I really should have known that. You're not that coordinated. What you're thinking, but like I said, my peace is important to me, and I was maintaining it. And that was before the fact that I had to beg for my life from the individual. But I've always knew my peace was important to me. So, of having the unhealed childhood traumas, I accepted things way longer than I should have. My pain tolerance is much higher than it should have.
Why is
I
your pain tolerance so high? That
Because
video.
that's it, right, and that's right,
Emotional and physical.
and the reason why is because I had to, in order to survive life.
That came full circle, and I love it.
It did, and that's what
You
my
did
tip
that.
was. Yes, I did. I
You
did.
did that.
I did. But that's why I love you, because I can relate to that too.
So I love you too. It's not like I even disagree with you. I mean, we disagree on certain things sometimes. I just kind of like to say it. I think we agree on most things.
We agreed to
I feel
disagree.
flustered and pissed off all the time. I hate social media. And people are like, just stop caring about it. And I'm like, I wish I could sometimes, but my fucking rights are in trouble. And everybody's doing the wrong thing. And I'm just like, what the fuck are we gonna do? But that's something I just got to protect my peace with and learn those yoga techniques and the breathing and the yeah.
How can we stop anxiety? I know how now, but it took me a long time to realize how. But how do we stop anxiety from getting the best of us when we're thinking of the situation if we can't stop thinking of the situation? I know how, and I have a great trick, but I want to know you know how. You tell me how.
Anxiety. I want to hear from Appetite first because I've been talking too much.
I don't
I'm
know if he's
anxious.
I don't know if he's in the room.
Oh, he might not be. How do I deal with anxiety? Well, that's once again, it's a multi-step way. It depends on the situation, and it's not so much what I do, but it's how I do it. I have to remember not the agreements thing that not everything bad is going to happen. 80% of the things we worry about aren't going to come to pass. I've read that statistic a couple times. Danny Holmes says breathing techniques work, and he's absolutely right. That can be hard too. Some people be like, fuck you, I'm not taking a walk, but that can help too. Grounding.
You know how it works, what works for me?
I would love to.
Changing how I perceive it.
Yeah.
That works well with me. Changing how I perceive it. Instead of feeling myself anxious from a stress state or from a remembering of or a thought process of thinking negative thoughts, I change all that before it even comes to that point. Missy said that mine is so bad that I'm being told to go in medication at this point. No. But you can, I mean, if you feel that you're not strong enough to be able to control it, then please do go on medication. If that's what you feel. But at the end of the day, you got to remember you owned your mind. Your mind don't own you. It's not easy, but you can control it because you don't have to listen to what your mind is saying. Unless you get to the point where you really need it. Some people really do need medication. Sometimes medication really does help certain people. But there's a reason why the anxiety is kicking in. You got to figure out the the whole main problem first. Once you figure out why it's there, then you can work on how to remove it. But until you figure out why it's there, no medication is really going to help you. It's just going to mask it. It's a Band-Aid.
You know, Missy, I've met
My
Missy before.
my
She's
opinion. I'm not a doctor.
no,
I one on TV.
changing.
Would you
no
say?
one here's a doctor. We're all satirists.
I was a nurse though, but like I'm not a doctor, and
yeah.
And I was a pharmacy tech, but like no. But at the end of the day, medicine only works if you take it, and it only works to mask the thing. It never really gets down to what the real problem is, because our body's meant to recycle itself and heal itself. Our mind is extremely powerful. That's why it controls us.
No, I want to say thank you for tuning in, Missy.
Yes,
I really
ma'am.
appreciate it.
Much love.
Maybe you do need a spirit journey, you know. Maybe you do need medication. I know I need medication at certain times. I don't particularly like the way it makes me feel, and I end up suffering through a lot of my problems. Diet and exercise change. You may have existing health problems. You got to pay attention to those. They could be exacerbated.
You might
get
need
out
to
of the house and maybe travel a little bit around your areas. Right? I know it's not easy.
remove the people that tell you something's wrong with you. Remove those that feel that you have triggers, because maybe they're just mirroring you and reflecting how they really feel about themselves. But there's a lot of things. But at the end of the day, nothing happens to us. It only happens for us. And it all stems from something. Everything stems from something. There's always a starter to every situation. So what starts the anxiety? What causes it to start happening? What are the thought processes?
Holy shit, communication. Communication being just thank you for sharing your comment. I think a lot of people are anxious right now. I'm very anxious myself. And Missy, I'm trying to get the fuck out of my situation as much as I can. Breathe the air, feel how real our world is, away from those politics and the running mouths and the bullshit. We just gotta remember we're human. And you can always reach out to the show. Put people on the show.
You're only human if you want to exist as a human state.
I've known Missy a while. I don't think Missy's human, are you, dear? I don't
You
think
could be
either.
you could be bigger than and better than what they allow you to think you are.
Yes.
You don't have to let anxiety control you. You don't have to let it become yours. You don't have to let that word become something you have to have. There's a lot of ways to maintain that.
Let's get rid of them stressors. Find our stressors.
No, she's not a human. I didn't think so. I swear I didn't think so. Henry's so stuck on this, we're all only human kind of thing. And I have to let him know that he's a god, and I don't know who he's trying to play with, but like.
Even God's got human parts, right? I mean, we're modeled after him, right? Or is it
Do we? Or is it the other way around? All humans have God parts.
I got some very human features. It's a chassis. It's a chassis.
We are having an experience of a human being, yes.
My character selects being. I should have just chose Big Cat. I swear to God, I could be climbing up a tree with a deer right now. I'm so glad you tuned in, Missy. Thank you, dear.
Spooning. Me and a big cat could be spooning right now in a tree.
Big cat. Yeah.
If you were a what? Would you want to be?
What's that?
A big cat? A cat too? You want to be a cat with another big cat? Spooning in a tree?
I am a cat. I fell out of a tree at least once this summer, and I'm 36.
Appetite.
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 We hungry. No, he's probably laughing his ass off. He's like, hold on, I gotta beat this motherfucking boss. No.
That's you, Henry. The video game.
Yeah, I do play video games. I used to have a problem.
But anyway.
Yeah, go on.
Missy, I want to know something. I want to know, when do you feel your anxiety? When does it start? Do you mind me asking? I don't know you personally, so I don't really see well either. So I can't. I mean, your little emoji's kind of cute, but I just want to know how do you, what happens? What starts the anxiety? That might be right there whether or not if you need medication. But if you think you need medication only because somebody told you did, you probably don't.
Usually the people you want to listen to telling you need medication would be doctors. That is not satire. You should don't let people tell you you're bipolar or ADHD or fucking schizo. That's bullshit. Let a clinical diagnosis do it, and try not to read the DSM like I did. It'll fuck your head up, and let someone do that for you with a degree. But it never hurts to research.
Not at all.
Maybe not on Google. We can try books.
She said everything.
Yeah, you can. Everything is doom scrolling now.
She said everything.
Oh, everything. I got to bed with it. I wake up in the night with it. I wake up in the morning with it. My counselor. Looks like it got cut off. Waiting on Missy. I'm gonna wait for you. Shit, I'm constantly running anti-anxiety like programs, like antivirus software in my head. Honestly, it fucking sucks. It's exhausting.
Me too.
I wish I didn't have the trauma.
I used to. I no longer do, but I used to. And I had to realize why I was and where it stemmed from and what caused it.
Yeah. I'm very aware of the things that cause it for me sometimes. I may never be able to shed all of it, but I process it way better. Oh, your doctor thinks I need it. I start blacking out and can't breathe. Panic
That's how
attacks
mine
are
was.
bad, dude.
That's a lot of anxiety. That's what panic attacks are. That's what your anxiety goes to. It goes from anxiety to a panic attack. And that's what mine was too. I learned how to control it though. I swear I did. And I'm not telling you it's easy. Because it's not. But nothing is comfortable. Nothing comfortable is meant to be. You have to be uncomfortable in order to get comfortable again. Just so you can become uncomfortable again in life, to grow again. So you have to be able to do these baby steps to heal. Even if you take medications doesn't work 100%. There's still stuff you have to do along the medication to make them work. Compliance to probably avoiding certain things because now you take this medication. To constantly take it around the same time all times. There's a lot of, there's still have to have some form of discipline and control to be able to take this medication and not forget. So if you have enough of control to be able to remember to take the medication, then you will have enough control to be able to work on without the medication. Because not any medication is supposed to be long-term, ever. They're supposed to help you be able to do it long-term without it.
You might have a lot of things you're anxious about balancing on a plate like this, and it's tipping left and right. Missy, try. I know some shit. What's up with you? And just try and fucking moderate which ones are tipping your plate. I have a lot of anxieties on my table right now, and I'm trying to shelve other ones and let them be for a little bit. You're not going to fix all of them right away. You're probably not going to be able to fix all of them right away, and just try and prioritize, dear. It's difficult. I'm trying to get uncomfortable. I've been trying to get comfortable from being uncomfortable for 36 years. I'm still stuck in this fucking house. I'm making the best of it. I'm really trying. And it's so hard. It's just hard. You're valid. It sucks. And just try and mitigate those. Talk to your doctor about it. Get second opinions if you can, too, because those never hurt.
Not at all. But once you feel it coming on, stop it. Once you feel your breathing start changing, slowly try to stop it. You're not going to stop it right away. They're going to still come, but you're going to stop them before they become panic attacks, before you start blacking out, before you start hyperventilating. You're going to stop them before it gets to that point. And then slowly start stopping them. Slowly start stopping them during that, even if it does get to that point. Give yourself grace. Even if it does get to the point where you feel like you're going to black out, slowly start stopping them. Once you slowly start stopping them, and I wish appetite was back. Once you slowly start stopping them, then you're able to realize that you are controlling them, not causing them. You are controlling them. And then go a little further. And eventually you'll be able to control them before they even start, because you're going to change how you see things. But it's baby steps, babe. It's baby steps, and you're not going to do it overnight. It really isn't going to happen overnight. But you got to be able to start controlling it a little bit and give yourself grace.
Danny Holmes, that's the best time to stop it as soon as you feel it. He's absolutely right. It's a hard thing to deal with. Kimberly's absolutely right. Take those little steps. Remember, your anxiety isn't real. It's conspiracy theories. You can have totally valid reasons for being anxious, totally, but you'll never get those problems taken care of if you're so broken up about it. And that was the hardest thing for me to deal with too. Those little baby steps, bringing yourself back, because you can. The anxiety is invisible. It's fucking invisible. It destroys us from the inside, and you can totally choose not to be that way.
Our mind is controlling it and creating it. Our mind is doing it to us from subconscious things that we are thinking of constantly. And it's not easy. But even if you go to the point where you're almost going to hyperventilate and pass out, you stop that happening. It's got to start somewhere. And eventually you stop it before it even happens. But you got to work to that step. Just like drinking, just like everything else, it's always one day at a time. Now Henry's 6 years later. And he realized more in the 6 years later, going on 7, he realized more that the reason why he did do it than anything. And, it makes sense. Would he do it now? No. But it makes sense why he did. But it took him that long to realize why he did it. So with anxiety, don't expect to happen and be able to control it overnight, because there's reasons, i.e. the high childhood trauma. There's reasons why it's happening. Somewhere deep. What's this say?
You can't do that when you're waking up from REM sleep from it. I don't hyperventilate. My vision just goes black. Yeah,
I know. I get that. It might be a neurological problem. You might have, like Henry said, something neurological going on.
Second opinions. I also don't want to beat you to death, Missy, with it. I know you're here to talk to us, and I'm so glad to keep an open dialogue. You let me know if you get overwhelmed, and I'm just here. I'll talk to you later too if you want.
But me too. I don't have to know you to be able to relate.
Yeah, Kimberly's awesome
too. So and I'm not telling you that I've figured it all out, because I hadn't. I realize I only can control myself, though. Everything else I can't control. I get overstimulated all the time, and I get headaches in the front of my head. And it could be a bigger problem, or it could be something I'm doing within myself of anxiety. So.
Okay. I thought
do whatever is best for you. Do whatever's best for you, honestly, because not everybody's the same. Not every situation is the same. But even when you do it, you still have to control the fact that you got to take it all the time and make sure you're responsible with it and for it to work. Because the number one reason why medication don't work is compliance. So.
The vision going black is really hard. The real hard stuff.
I've had those. They suck.
See, people are out there suffering every day, and we're not weak for it. I'm glad that you don't want to fucking suffer in silence, because I certainly don't. I don't want to see anyone do that. It's really hard, and it feels like no one cares right now. But there's a whole bunch of people who do care, and we're trying to get there. I see a lot of positivity nowadays. Thank you for saying that, Kimberly. And you know what? It's worth working for, because my absolute worst end of the day, someone around me I love is even dying level of bad day. Sober is better than my worst, better than being drunk.
I feel
I'll
that.
take the weight of tragedy over one more day drunk. So it was worth it to clinically get help. It was worth it to seek help on my own. It was worth it to work it every day.
Now, who owns you? The addiction or you? At the end of the day.
I own the addiction. That's what I talk about.
Ta-da! And that's all we're saying, Missy. Because at the end of the day, you can own it. You can own it. I swear you can. It may not feel like it right now because you can't control it. But somewhere down the line, you are able to control it. And maybe medication will help you right now until you get to the point where you can control it. Unless you have a neurological problem, unless you have a tumor on a nerve that's causing you to black out when you're sleeping, which is causing the pressure, which is causing the anxiety, which is causing the point of. So maybe I would, like Henry said, go get a second opinion and maybe go get a MRI. Because maybe it's something different. But somehow there's signs of something. You need something. You need help somehow. It's scary, I know.
And, yeah, we share links. We got doctors, we talk to each other. We're not doctors, but I'm in the business of, like, if someone needs to get to an AA meeting, I'll be like, well, we can look up some numbers or stuff in your area and whatnot. Just help. This is a network of people who want to help each other. I think we've all been there for each other here in the Twisted Truths, and I'm glad to have someone else. We don't have people call in and talk all the time. This is incredibly cool. We do. I put the APB out there for people to message about childhood traumas today. See if we got any views. Probably I went through 2 different experimental chemotherapies. Yep. Doctors said they didn't know what was going to happen. Well, you may be entitled to be compensated, but have that looked into.
That's probably what's causing it. Promise you.
Yeah, you have a little experience just seeing the healthcare system, Kimberly, and I always enjoy hearing what you got to say about it.
Because they want to mask us with something. They want to mask us with something and see, this is, and label us as something, because then they solved a problem. And then they can walk to the next room and mask them with something so they can say that they solved the problem and go to the next room. But they're masking with something, not solving the problem, sweetheart. So find out what's causing the problem.
I don't want to
get an MRI. I'm telling you, go figure out what's causing the main problem, because I'm telling you, it's got to be something.
It's scary to even seek that help. Don't procrastinate on it. If you've been procrastinating on it, yeah, definitely try to move into a situation where you're not. You can't do that. Kimberly, you're talking just between you, me, and the fence post here. You're talking to someone who has all this anxiety on top of them. They may or may not have been through quite a lot. You might be talking to a fucking soldier here. So weakness is not in that lexicon. A lot of trauma gets mistaken for weakness, and Henry, the shit that happened at my house. I've known Missy for many years. You're talking to a fucking,
And I feel you. And the reason why your tolerance is so high is because of what? The second video. The same video Henry likes. Because you had to have it so high. Why is your tolerance so high to pain? Why are you such a badass and a soldier? It always starts from somewhere. And it always starts from your childhood. It always starts from your childhood. You got to dig deep and figure out what that childhood trauma was.
Progress, Missy. Look.
You're on here. That's a big step. Yeah. That's a big step. You're on here. You're reaching out. You're speaking on it. That's a big step. I'm proud of you. I love you for it.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too. I love you for it. You got a future here.
Yeah.
We're
all a little fucked up. I'm serious. We're all a little fucked up. Appetite's
really
gone right now. Appetite's gone right now. He's not with us right now. I wish he was, but he's not.
He's got his mic turned off. He's like,
He really is though. Listen, he really is though.
I would love it
Henry.
if he was.
Henry, he really is though. On the end of the day, he really is though.
Not
laughing,
No.
but he's outside taking care of his anxiety.
Yeah.
We
I
all
wasn't
have
laughing.
it.
That was a crying impression.
No, he is outside doing that. So
Okay.
we all are healing from something, Missy. You're not alone, and it's not easy.
Oh my God, I'm chewing my nails. Yep. Fuck.
See?
Got myself. I showed a moment of weakness.
Being aware of it, though. Being aware of it. That's the first step. That's the first step to heal, is be aware of it. But anyways, when Henry gets back, we'll wrap this up. I don't know when Appetite will get back. But yeah, being aware of the how childhood trauma is a first step to healing. Figure out what the main problem is. And then figure out what's causing the blackouts. But we do appreciate you turning on. We appreciate you tuning in and chiming and sharing with us.
Oh, shit.
Henry.
Okay. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I had a visitor in the house there.
Henry, are you playing the guitar or not?
No. I'm gonna hold off on this one. I think we did a really great show here, and I'm not even in a place where I think I can do that right now.
Okay. So may everyone's night be full of positive energy and high vibrations and much love and respect to yourself. With grace. Ashe, everyone.